Hey there guys, what's up? Francis and Did. Welcome to my channel and the program. Tonight I'd like to share a bit of ideas and thoughts about I like to share more about the my ideas and thoughts about how to overcome the limitations of your own personal development. And I'd also like to point out um, several pieces in more depth. And basically, so just after I have talked to Aaron, the revolutionist, via Discord, um, about how we can overcome the barriers, the limitations towards a better quality of life, towards personal and mutual development. um, so I have never ceased. I have never ceased to think and to analyze and to to ponder about what's truly been preventing us, you know what's been truly preventing us from doing what we enjoy, what we are meant to do, what we are supposed to do. Um, but 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 while you consider such question, also consider this: do you enjoy your current status? Do you enjoy um, what you are currently doing for a living? Do you find what you are currently doing enjoyable and meaningful, or fulfilling? Um, be- because nowadays, due to the flourishment of social media, we always tend to make some unreasonable and foolish comparisons to other people around us. It can be either those people whom we have some encounters, whom we had some contacts with. It can also be, it we can also gather and salvage information from people, from computer games characters we have encountered online, either online or either online or physically, person to person, face to face. So though you can choose not to admit it, it is still a fact. We just we just tend to exhibit such type of behavior a lot more subconsciously than actually consciously. Just right, far before we know it, we've already been we have already been injecting and exerting an undue amount of peer pressure onto ourselves. So it's pretty alarming. It's pretty alarming to realize such fact. For myself, yet I can still sense that the majority, the majority of the majority of the population, globally speaking, they are still feeding themselves with those bullshit, those indoctrinations, with those worldly and social indoctrinations. They often get to see on a daily and hourly basis. So yeah, perhaps yes, perhaps the most, I as far as I can reckon, the one of the most, one of the most, you know challenging, one of the most daunting barriers I can think of that pose serious threat against personal and mutual um, development should be, the communications barriers. You know, because you see that, according to the Bible, Jesus once said, those who are my sheep will listen to what he says. Those who aren't his sheep will never listen to what he's preaching. Though he never mentioned explicitly that how often his sheep will listen to him, will listen to his teaching or preaching. He just he just used a rather generic or plain words, plain sentence, saying that those who are his sheep will always listen. It's not always, but will listen to him. Perhaps it occurred, it best manifested as a sort of a glitch that occurred during the early translations from the Hebrew Bible, to the English one, or right from the Greek or the Latin version of the Bible to English ones. I don't know, because I'm no historian, so I can't give you a answer that sound explicit, clearly defined, or sufficiently straightforward. So please excuse me on that. So yeah, I suppose due to the gigantic disparity of wealth, of the level or the range or the reach of network, we all tend to differ from one another. We will always meet a rather diverse variety of people during our lifetime, and those encounters, those meetings, those experiences can really have a profound impact onto our future behaviors, and in turn decisions, and in turn the outcomes we receive, or I should say the fruit or the seed we reap. We tend to reap. We always reap what we sowed. Right, before we reap, before we commence the harvest, we always reap what we previously planted. So it's pretty much a chain event. It's excuse me. So yeah, those disparities actually created some sort of friction, some sort of resistance against one another, and I reckon therefore people will usually refuse will refuse to listen even to the very first piece of given opinion from another, if that piece of opinion happens to happens to seriously and severely contradict the other person's mindset and opinions. So yes, we will almost always tend to react to that opinion with animosity, with hostility, and therefore we will basically lose the possibility, the chance to, you know, to learn new things, to experience a whole new encounter, to experience a whole new level of experience. And therefore it can change our future outcomes during our lives, during our lifetime. And therefore it, you know, the decisions we made, the people we met, the, you know, the things, the jobs, the projects we chose to undertake, yes, they will form our most fundamental mindsets and values and principles, or codes, if you prefer to address such terminology with a more professional tone or word. Yeah. Therefore, yes, therefore it will stir up the disagreement, conflicts, and yes, create a diversity or a variety or a multitude of variety of diverse people with highly distinct and diverse opinions and mindsets. And therefore the barrier to facilitate effective and efficient communications that can either occur at a ordinary or extraordinary workplace, or it can also occur at, you know, at family units quite frequently, and not quite limited, not quite confined, you know, to those places, to those venues. Though we tend to prison ourselves, and though we always tend to prison ourselves, to imprison ourselves within the confines of somebody else's opinions, with the mainstream social opinion from the public. You know, yes, it can characterize or manifest itself in a variety of forms and types. You know, such as norms, such as, you know, TV shows, news agencies, you name it, they have it. So I guess, yeah. So to summarize, the barriers of communications that sit between a person and another do pose serious threat against personal and mutual development, as well as consensus. So I hope I have made some sense making this video. So if you do have any questions, if you happen to have any questions or comments, feel free to post them below this video clip. And I look forward to speak. I look forward to speaking or meeting up with one of my, or some of my, or all of my subscribers and or audiences, offline, physically, person to person, face to face. So stay tuned, stay blessed, stay faithful, and I shall see you on the next video on YouTube. Bye bye. Cheers.